Hey bookish friends, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel, and here's my August reading wrap up. August was not as great of a reading month as I was hoping it to be. I read 5 books, which is better than no books, or better than, some of my other months. Like, I think February was 3 or something like that, or maybe that was March. I don't remember. Or no, it was April. Whatever. So I guess I'm not like super mad that it's only 5 books, and honestly 3 of them were from, basically I finished them in the last week of August. So that's how August went for me. So without further ado, let's get down to it. The first book that I finished in August was on my Kindle. It was Those Who Wait by Haley Cass. I talked about it in one of the reading vlogs earlier this month, and I think it was a 3.75 star book for me, mainly because of the length of it. I felt like a lot of it could have been cut and wasn't necessary for the plot of the story, but I really enjoyed the characters and I loved their journey. The next book I read was a reread. It was Wicked and the Wallflower by Sarah MacLean. And Sarah MacLean, can do no wrong in my eyes. All of her books end up being 3.5 to 5 star reads for me. This one I believe was a 4.5 star for me on the reread. I think on the first time it was a 5 star, and on the reread it ended up being a 4.5. I think just from me reading her entire backlist and how there are just some books that I would rank higher than others, this one's still a solid, great book. The next one is a book that I originally started, I think, in April. Got through, I think, the first 10 chapters, and then April with the pandemic, it was just so bad for my reading, and I just never finished it. So this past week was Summerween, or not this, yeah, last week was Summerween, which was hosted by Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby Reads. And I decided to put it on my TBR. I skimmed through the first 10 chapters just to refresh my brain on what had happened, because I wasn't remembering anything, and that is Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead. How has it taken me this long to finally read the series that has Adrian in it? Adrian is like one of my favorite characters from this world, and I was so devastated because I was Team Adrian and not Team Dimitri for Rose. And he has his own spin-off series now, and I cannot believe that it's taken me this long to get into this series. I have the second book in this series, so I'll probably be reading that soon, and I'm gonna have to collect the rest of them. I think there's a total of 6. So this was a 4-star read for me. A little predictable on where the plot went, because there was sort of a mystery within it. A little predictable, but really enjoyable, and I really like Sydney as a character. We saw a little bit of her in the first series when she was helping Rose, but this is basically her story now, and I really like her as a character, and I love the rest of the characters too, and obviously because Adrian's in it, hello. I have an Adrian candle, if you can't see, and clove smoke alcohol and red currant. I mean, that's Adrian in a nutshell. And it smells lovely. I think it smells lovely. So, yeah. Also, fun fact, Natalie Yours is like one of my favorite candle makers. She's awesome. And she's also in the Chicagoland area. The next book I read was the Weeby Bookin book club pick of the month. And Weeby Bookin is a book club on Facebook. And that was The Guest List by Lucy Foley or Lucy Foley. I've heard it both ways. I'm not really sure which way is the correct one. And this was a mystery thriller. I felt like it was a little bit more on the mystery side and not on the thriller side. There were a couple thrilling aspects to it for me, but all in all, I really enjoyed this one. It was a solid 4-star book for me. And it totally gave me Harper's Island vibes. I think I said that in my TBR for August, that this was giving me Harper's Island vibes. And when I was reading it, it still gave me Harper's Island vibes. And I loved it for it. I did not predict who the killer was, but I did predict who the victim was. And I really liked how the characters were like kind of connected in a way. And yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed this, and I'm gonna have to check out her other book. I think it's called The Hunting Party, so I'm gonna have to check that one out too, because I hear that one's good. But yeah, so if you like Agatha Christie's and Then There Were None, I think you would like this, because it's along the same kinds of trapped on an island. One of the characters is a murderer, and there's no escape because you can't go anywhere. You're on a deserted island or an isolated island or whatever. But yeah, I really liked this one. And then the last book that I read this month was a graphic novel, and that was The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and 5 stars. I mean, it's Sabrina. It's witchy. It's paranormal. It's lovely. It's dark. It's wonderful. I really loved this. I'm not sure if there's a second volume, because I think this was comics 1 through 6. And I think there's only 8 comics, or if I was researching it correctly. So I think I'm just going to have to buy the other 2 comics on their own and read them separately, because I don't think there's another volume. And if I am wrong, let me know, because I wasn't finding it. But I really loved this, and I'm so happy that I started watching the show too, so I'm super excited to finish the show. But yeah, so these were the books that I read this month, and all in all, it was a great stack of books. Nothing lower than 3.5 stars. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Feel like if Those Who Wait were in this pile physically and not just in my Kindle, the stack would be like up to here, because that book was massive. But yeah, so leave a comment down below. Let me know what books you read this month. Did you stick to your TBR? Are you like me and read some of what was on your TBR and totally veered off the path later on? But yeah, if you liked this video, give a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps. And if you're not a subscriber and you want to, go ahead and subscribe. I would appreciate you so much. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye!